Hello everyone, my name is Anup Pudha. So today I am going to discuss about unit number 4, design lecture number 31. Now let us go through the contents that we are going to discuss in this video. We are going to discuss about the design concepts, coupling and cohesion. Now let us see the design concepts that are used. So the design of a system is correct if a system is built according to the design satisfy the requirement of that system. So when you consider a design of a system is correct only if it is built according to the requirements. So the goal of the design process is to find the best possible design within the limitations. So to evaluate a design we have to specify some criteria. So system is considered modular if it is consist of discrete modules. So modularity helps in system debugging. Now let us see what is coupling. So coupling between modules is the strength of the interconnection between the modules or measure of interdependence among the modules. So interconnection between the two modules is called as coupling. So in general we must know that about module A in order to understand module B. So the more closely connected A is to B. That is, the more we must know about module A in order to understand module B, which means in order to understand module B, we have to first understand the module A. So it is A is to B. So highly coupled modules are joined by strong interconnection while loosely coupled modules have weak interconnections. Independent modules have no interconnection because they are not dependent on other modules. So there are three types of coupling exist between modules: the interaction coupling, component coupling, inheritance coupling. Now let us see one by one. What is interaction coupling? So interaction coupling occurs due to methods of a class invoking methods of another class. So this situation is similar to a function calling another function, and then this coupling is similar to coupling between functional models. There is one function calling the other function. Now, like with other function, the worst form of coupling here is as if methods directly access internal parts of the other method. Now coupling is lowest if methods communicate directly through parameters, and also coupling is higher if the amount of data being accessed is increased. So if whole data structure is passed, then only some parts will be needed. Next type is component coupling. Now component coupling refers to interaction between two classes, whereas a class has variables of other class. Okay, for example, a class C can be a component coupled with another class C1 if C has an instance variable of type C1. Okay, or C has a method whose parameter is of type C1, or if C has a method which has a local variable of type C1. So if any one of it is there, that is if C has some of the variable of type C1, or C has a method of type parameter C2, or C has a type local variable of type C1, then we can say that C is component coupled with C1. Now when C is component coupled, it has potential of being component coupled with all subclasses of C1. So whichever the subclasses of C1 are there, it is also coupled with them. So it should be clear that whenever there is a component, there is likely to be interaction coupling. Now what is interaction coupling? So inheritance coupling is due to the inheritance relationship between the classes. So two classes are considered inheritance coupled if one class is a direct or indirect class of another. Now let us consider the two situations. If a class A is coupled with another class B, and if B is an hierarchy of with B1 and B2 as two subclasses. So B has two subclasses, okay, and B is coupled with A. Then if a method M is factored out of B1 and B2 and put in superclass B, the coupling drops as A is now only coupled with B, whereas earlier it was coupled with both B1 and B2. So we have factored out. Similarly, if B is a class hierarchy which supports specialization, that if new subclasses are added to B, no changes need to be made to the class A, which calls methods B. So without this hierarchy, changes in B would most likely result in changes in A. Now let us see what is cohesion. So cohesion is a model represents how tightly bound the internal elements of a model are to one another. So cohesion of a model gives the designer an idea about whether the different elements of a model belong together in the same model. So there are several levels of cohesion: coincidental cohesion, logical cohesion, temporal cohesion, procedural cohesion, communicational cohesion, sequential cohesion, and functional cohesion. So let us see one by one. Coincidental cohesion. So this is the lowest level of cohesion. So this type of cohesion occurs when there is no meaningful relationship among elements of models. So cohesion it represents the relationship among models. So it occurs if model has many submodels. If the model is created in order to avoid duplication of work by combining the code that occurs repeatedly. So coincident cohesion occurs if the models has many submodels. Second type is logical cohesion. If there exists some logical relationship between elements of a model, then that kind of cohesion is called logical cohesion. For example, the model that performs the input operation or output operations are logically cohesive models. That is, if the information about particular input is to be obtained, then special status flag has to be passed to the models. Third one is temporal cohesion. The models in which tasks need to be performed in some specific time, that is called as temporal cohesion. That is, models should perform some tasks in some given time. Now the elements of temporal model are logically related. Next one is procedural cohesion. So all the elements in the procedural cohesion belong to a particular procedure unit. So after determining the modular structure, procedural cohesion models are formed. So a model with procedural cohesion contains either only a part of a complete function or part of several functions. Next we have communicational cohesion. So in communicational cohesion, the model bounds all the elements that operate on same input or output data. For example, this model could be update the record or print the record. So in communication cohesion, it will bound all the elements that operate on same input or output data. As we have given an example, the model could be update a record or print a record. So it will bound all input as well as output data. So it can perform more than one function. So this cohesion is at sufficiently at higher level. Sixth one we have sequential cohesion. So in sequential cohesion, the output of one element is given as input to another element, as the name suggests, sequentially. So you have a group of elements in which output of element is given as input to another element, then sequential cohesion does not guide how to combine them into a model. So that means whether to combine all such elements in one model or to divide them in groups. All these guidelines cannot be obtained from sequential cohesion. So only output of one element is given as the input to another element in the same model. Seventh one is functional cohesion. So it is the strongest type of cohesion. All the elements perform a single function only. Okay. For example, a function to compute the square of a number or display the data is functional cohesive type. So there are three aspects in this: method cohesion, class cohesion, and inheritance cohesion. First we'll see what is method cohesion. So it focuses on why different code elements of methods are together within the method. Okay, so the highest form of cohesion, it is each method implements a clearly defined function and all statements in the method contribute to implementing these functions within the functional cohesion. Second one is class cohesion. So it focuses on why different attributes and methods are together in the class. So it is related to the class. The goal is to have class that implements a single concept or abstraction with all elements. So it is related to why different attributes and methods. Third one is inheritance cohesion. So it focuses on reason why classes are together in a hierarchy. So it is used for two main reasons, that is generalization, specialization, relationship, and code reuse. So in this video we have discussed about concepts of design, what is coupling, what is cohesion. Thank you.